Hello, everybody. We are so excited to be here today. And we're excited because today we're starting a little bit of a new format. But let me start out first by introducing myself, and then I'll let my amazing co-host introduce herself. My name is Allyson Mancini. I am a holistic nutritionist, and we both live in South Florida. And I'm going to go ahead and let Julietta introduce herself, and we'll get more into about us later.
Hi, I'm Julietta. I am the magical PT. Welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they are meant to be.
Yes.
So, we've got like so much to celebrate right now, Allyson. This is super exciting.
Well, first of all, we need to tell them a little bit about our new format so they know.
Yeah, so we're going to start out. Allyson and I are going to talk about what we want to talk about for a little bit in the beginning of the show before we bring our guest on. But, you know, we're still going to have guests like we always do. And we're going to go through our 4 questions that, like, I sometimes I'm like, is this okay format? And like when I talk to people about it, everybody loves it. They're like, those questions are amazing, and the conversation that comes from them is amazing. So we're going to stay with our 4 questions, but you and I are going to have a little
time to chat.
Yeah. So
we have a lot to share.
We do have a lot to share. So, like you think back, like where we started and where we are now. So this morning, right? This morning, our 50th episode released.
Woo!
And
50. Can you believe that? 50 women we have interviewed, girl. And it's been so fun.
Each one has been really fun. So many golden nuggets of information shared out there. I've gotten feedback from people like that was exactly the message I needed to hear today, or what you guys talked about inspired me to do something new. I mean, so much good is coming from this. So I'm super excited. We also, so Allyson went and checked a little bit ago. We got word from, our app that like puts our podcast out there that, a little while ago it was 1,000, but we checked this morning. We've had, 1,185 downloads. And not just in the US, like internationally, like we're international podcasters. So that's
like we're in South America and Asia, Australia, Europe. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting.
It is exciting that people are receiving these messages everywhere.
Yes.
We also last week surpassed that 100 subscriber mark on YouTube, which if any of you are YouTubers out there, you understand, like you have to get that 100th subscriber to be able to personalize your account and everything. So we got there and we actually went past. We're at 130 subscribers on YouTube.
Yay.
We can always use more. So if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe for us. And the other thing I love, where we do a lot of our day-to-day interactions and stuff, is our Circle of Goddesses group on Facebook. So if you're not a member, join Allyson and I and the 590 other members that we have in the circle. Join us and interact with us and be a part of this.
It's a great place to interact and encourage. And, Julietta and I try to post stuff pretty regularly in there. And then you'll find all of our podcasts in there and our interviews on video. And it's a great place to also share your wisdom and your voice. And I also want to tell everybody, we need to remind them, if they want to be guests for our interviews, they can go to our website and fill out a request to be on our podcast. And we have had women from all age ranges, all stages of life, all cultural backgrounds. I mean, it's just been incredible. So we would love to have you go to our votgpodcast.com and our website, and you'll see a podcast request that you can click on and fill out that. That would be awesome.
Yes. Anything else we want to share before we bring on our guest?
I feel like that's a lot. Like, I think it's pretty awesome. And I think we need to bring in our amazing guest now because she's patiently waiting
Yes.
stage for us.
This woman is totally a goddess. I'm so excited that she's going to be on the show with us today. I've known her, I don't even know how many years I've known her now, but I love what she's doing. I love what she's up to. And so let's bring her on.
All right, from backstage, here we go. Yay.
Hey, Dr. Shivani.
Hi,
Welcome
how are
to the
you?
show.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you for joining us. And can you please introduce yourself and tell our audience a little bit about the amazing things you do?
Sure. So I'm Dr. Shivani Gupta. I'm local in South Florida. To all you international and national listeners out there, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. So Ayurveda is a system of medicine from India that's over 5,000 years old. And so through my own health journey and travels to India, I decided to dive deep. And I did my master's in Ayurvedic sciences, and then I did my PhD in it. And my PhD dissertation was on turmeric. And I fell in love with what turmeric does for the body. And I thought, why has no one created a really potent version and then shown Western medicine how it can really work alongside what else they're using, the other items they're using on us that have side effects, and instead we could have natural solutions. So about 5 years ago, I built my supplement company, Fusionary Formulas. And so I get to heal the world with turmeric and heal the world with Ayurvedic spices. And then in the last year through the pandemic, I decided to put my program together, which is Fusionary Method. So I like to dive deep with women into their dosha and Ayurveda and how having the toolkit of Ayurveda with you can completely transform your life in terms of your health, having vibrant health, having vibrant immunity, those things that really matter to us. So that's my intro.
Yay!
That is incredible. I'm like, oh my, she is totally speaking my language, all of that. Like, I love that. And I didn't realize you started your program over this last year. That's incredible.
Yeah, I just, I really wanted to finally put it in a whole container that I could share with people. And so I put the program together so that once you have the toolkit, then it's just about the accountability and the reminders and the support. But once you have the whole thing, you can live the whole lifestyle. Right. So I'd like to take Ayurveda, which is vast, and take its knowledge and simplify it down to what we need. And then showing us how to build those rituals and self-care and that Ayurvedic diet into our lives in a really effective way.
That's incredible. Good for you.
Hear all those words she's using.
I know.
Accountability, self-care. Like, she's the exact right person to have on our show today.
She is speaking our love language, Julietta. Every single bit of it.
Nice.
All right. So let's dive into the questions. So the first one, Dr. Shivani, is, what is your superpower?
Such a great question. I've thought about this one. For me, I think it's that when someone comes to me with a health issue, I can kind of dig deep into these recesses of my brain that I normally don't use, and I can pull out an answer. And it's been a skill that I've been honing over the last couple of years. But when people come to me, I'm like, you just need lassi. You just need this turmeric. You just need that spice. You just need some ashwagandha in your life. Like, it's become very easy for me to kind of look at someone, know their dosha, hear the issue, come up with a clean, easy 3-step solution, and then we're good. I think that a lot of times nowadays people go down rabbit holes. They're like, well, I have dry skin. Okay, this doctor, this cream, that solution. Instead of just taking a step back and saying, okay, I have a diagnosis. Let me go look at like alternative and natural solutions that really build the body from the ground up. And so really in Ayurveda, we're about root causes. And so I like to just dig right into the root cause and then hand it to people. And then it's their choice. If they want to go that path, cool. And if you want other ones, that's fine too.
Excellent.
That was awesome. I'm like, there's nothing more that needs to be said to that.
It's full, it's complete. So
when you're in like-minded circles, that happens, right? It's always nice to be with like-minded women because we're like, yeah.
Yep. Mic drop, as they would say,
Totally. All right, Shivani, what is your favorite book or the book that has most influenced your life?
Okay, I thought about this one too. I was going to share this one.
She has two. She has two.
I'm going to share this one for my real one, but I'm going to tell you why I debated it. So Ayurveda, The Science of Self-Healing by Dr. Vasant Lad is a powerful book. It is so potently encompassing all of Ayurveda. And he draws these diagrams in there. And it's like a great intro to Ayurveda for anybody. So I love that one. But then I thought to myself, and I was like, what was the book that truly transformed my life the most personally? And that would be this book, Many Lives, Many Masters, because my life has been pretty enchanted. I think my astrology and everything shows I came here with such support and love to do my purpose and my dharma. And I only have had one tragic thing happen in my life, and that's when my father passed. And my father passed away when I was 23, 2004, and I was just about to get married. Like I was 3 months from my wedding day, and there was this car accident, and you know, he passed. And it took a long time for me to come to terms with it. I was like, how can God do that? How can the universe? I don't understand. He's such a giving person. All those things we go through when we grieve. And I'll never forget, there was an acupuncturist I met at Canyon Ranch, Miami, and she was a medium. And she ended up channeling my father. And I had this profound healing moment where I realized, yes, I'm Hindu and I believe in reincarnation. And you know, I've studied all the other religions. I value all of them. But there's this closeness I have with my father now because this book taught us and showed us how people are here with us. They're still here. We can tune into them. There's so much spiritual work we can do in this world that we might not have any idea of until we meet the right person. And so that really opened my mind to kind of the spiritual path I'm on now. I've joined this group called Priestess. Like I'm very much on my spiritual path. It might look to the world like I'm on a business path or on this other path, but truly the path that I spend the most time on in my life is the spiritual one now. And that book gave me that framework for how when people leave you, they don't really leave you. And so that would be the book I would share as the most profound to me personally in this lifetime.
Nice. Beautiful. And, you know, you spoke about you're on your spiritual path, even though it looks on the outside sometimes that you're on your business path, but this is so much a part of me and my business. And I'm sure Allyson would say the same, but like, we need to bring the spiritual and the business together. And that's when magic happens. Yeah. And so I don't want to say that it's just a feminine trait, but I do think that it's something that's possibly easier for women to do, to bring business and spirituality together. And, you know, and I also want to like emphasize out there when we speak spirituality, we're not talking about religion. Some people access their spirituality through religion, but spirituality and religion are not the same thing. And so I view your business as a very spiritual practice, Shivani.
I do too. I tell people all the time, Fusionary was given to me. The fact that the product does what it does is not in my hands, certainly. It was given. I get to be the vehicle through which I get to share this knowledge. Ayurvedic wisdom, I'm just an alchemist and a teacher of it. I didn't create Ayurveda. I just get the honor of teaching it in this life. So I've definitely brought more of myself into my work, more so than ever before. Before I was very kind of clean cut, like I teach Ayurveda by the book. And now it's a whole different ball game when you kind of open those doors and you say, you know, I'm here to heal, I'm here to teach, and I'm here to serve whoever's meant to come into this space. And so it's a very different approach. And as I delve deeper, I just have to have the kind of like the courage to bring it in even more, really is the truth of it. So
it makes me think of our recent book club book and all about being, not just doing. And really that's kind of what you guys are like talking, you know, actually being in all of this and not just doing task after task after task. Like you're bringing in that whole spiritual side. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and recognizing your purpose in what you do.
Right. Right.
There's people that are just going and working jobs, but when you can recognize what your purpose is in this lifetime, and it doesn't necessarily mean that like your job exactly mirrors what that purpose is, but bringing that purpose to your work.
True. Very true. And I think it makes it so much richer, as an entrepreneur, I'm here trying to do the work, and sometimes it's a hustle, sometimes it's a grind, it's all those things. It's the work we must do. And so it's a powerful reminder that this is my dharma, this is my purpose. I was brought here for this, constantly bringing in the joy. Like, what's the fun thing I get to do in my work today? Oh, I get to come up with a cool quote for Instagram, and I hope it like lands and it resonates. I hope that people will feel what I'm trying to say. So kind of finding those joy pieces in your business again, because especially right now, we're in this time where kind of work feels like a slog sometimes. Like you're just moving, but things are not moving at the same pace they were before the pandemic or before this time period. And so right now it's finding those joy pieces. And I think part of that is having the awareness, bringing your intuition into your business and saying, what do you need today? How do I serve you today? How do I serve the women in my community best today? Where am I needed most? So yeah.
Beautiful. All right. The next question is, what is your favorite self-care practice?
Ooh, oh my God. It's a great question because I teach all 12 and I love at least 9 to 10 out of the 12 self-care practices from Ayurveda that I teach. My personal favorite by far is tea time is me time. And so
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, I'm like, if I could, I'd post every teacup I drink all day, but I think the world would think I was crazy. But I pause and enjoy my tea. Like I relish it. I soak it in. Like my first sip of tea in my car on the way to school with the kids every morning is like the most heavenly moment of my day. Tea time is me time to me is a time frame where you sit and sip a drink. It can be coffee. It can be any drink you choose, hopefully healthy and anti-inflammatory. But that tea time that you have is meant for me to just tune in. Like I pause and I ask myself some questions. How do I feel? Do I need to drop my shoulders? Do I need to take a few deep breaths? Am I starving? Have I planned my day so I get to eat today and, hydrate? Where do I need to make some gaps of time? What do I need to adjust in my schedule so I don't crash and burn at the end of today? And if I am going to crash and burn, what is the plan for that? Am I going to sleep early? How am I going to build recovery in? And so I really use tea time as me time as that magical time. I do it about 5 times a day, at least, where I tune in and check in. There's my morning tea, my mid-morning tea, my lunchtime tea, my tea time tea, which is 3:30, my early evening tea, and then I have a deep sleep tea for bed. So I actually, within Fusionary, built teas because I love teas so much.
I was just going to say, please tell me you have teas, right?
Yeah, that's my new thing. I was telling Maria on my team 2 years ago, I was like, Maria, one day I really want to own a tea company. And then we made it happen. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, can I make 5 teas a month? Like, can I just keep inventing? But you're not allowed to do that. You have to be reasonable. So I have 2 teas so far. And trust me, eventually I will have many, many, many more.
Are one of these teas the deep sleep tea? Because I could really use that.
Yeah, I have deep sleep tea, and it has all the magical Ayurvedic herbs that help you fall asleep. It eases digestion, relaxes the body, relaxes the mind. Yeah. It has ashwagandha and brahmi and all those things. So I have it every night. And then it makes me so sleepy, I can't stay up. Like it's like it puts you to bed. You're like, okay, I'm going to bed. Yeah. I can't even stay up anymore. And then I made one last year called Metabolism Boost Tea. And so that's organic ceremonial grade matcha. It has triphala in it to help digestion. It has jamima, helps digestion. So I love just playing with the herbs and spices.
Nice. So, I love it.
And I love jasmine tea, peppermint tea. Like
Peppermint tea is by far my favorite, but I love it.
Yeah. So tea time is me time is my favorite because I think nowadays in modern day times, we're so used to just going. We don't take those pauses. And so it's truly a way from anchor a self-care moment into people's day and show them that you matter. You have to pause. You have to take time for yourself. You can take 2 to 3 minutes to sip a cup of tea and just focus on the tea. You can avoid social media, avoid email, avoid work, avoid phone calls, and pick yourself first. And by choosing yourself first, That's the magic place where all the other self-care rituals can come from. That's the place from which, you choosing better with your food and drinks for the day can come from. That's where you can make more gaps in your schedule and choose you. But if we don't have that awareness or consciousness around ourselves, how is any of that other stuff going to come to fruition? So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm just sitting here thinking of what time I'm going to have tea time today because I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? It's but I love how you said to actually just have the tea. Like, don't do anything. That's what I need to be better about, is that I'll have the tea and I'll sit there and I'll scroll through social media, or I'll check my emails, or what just to have the tea and just to sit there and enjoy the tea and just have that time for yourself.
Exactly. And if you think about it, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm scrolling social, I can tell that like my heart rate is picking up because I'm looking at things, I'm absorbing them, I'm thinking about them. Oh, should I do that too? Does that apply to my business? Look at that amazing reel. Like it's so disturbing in my brain because there's so much to it. And so I've trained myself to know, hey, you're eating. You need to be calm to eat. Hey, you're drinking tea. You need to be enjoying the tea. Are you tasting the tea? If you're not tasting the tea, what's the point of drinking the tea? So because I have the awareness now, I can do that versus before it was very easy to constantly scroll. And I'm not perfect. I still do it. I'm like, Shivani, really, come on. Tea time is tea time. Let's go. You have to focus on yourself for this time.
I love that. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. It's time for our last question. And I know you get so much done, but you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a business owner. To get all of it done, you have to have accountability. So how do you create accountability in your life?
Such a good question. I set goals that are so big that it'll probably take my whole life to achieve all those goals. And it drives me a little nuts if those goals sit on my vision board and on my list of dreams for too long. And so eventually when I get frustrated and I'm like, I said I wanted to do it. Why have I not done it? I kind of move them into the must happen. You must operationalize this. You must take it out of your own hands. And so the number one thing I would say I do to keep myself accountable is I keep writing down my dreams. I know what they are. I'm clear on them. I want to achieve them in this lifetime. And so I have a journal. There's one called the Start Today Journal by Rachel Hollis. There's one called 5-Minute Gratitude Journal. I use that one too. So when I sit down in the morning and I do my meditation, sometimes that only happens on the weekend because of school. But when I do it, I do sit down and say, what am I working for? Because otherwise the rigmarole and the current machine of any business can keep you bogged down inside of it. My other thing I do is I usually have a coach. I usually have someone who I'm working with. So when I wanted to create my program, I knew I would get in the way. I knew I'm a perfectionist and it would never, ever finish. So I hired a coach for that. We built the whole thing. It's beautiful. Now it's my job to go out and grow the thing. Same thing with a book. If I want to write a book, I hire someone just to hold me accountable because otherwise the perfectionist in me won't publish for 5 years. That's just, I know my nature. And I've hired great coaches in the past just for my mindset. And I find, Julietta, you and I were both in the MENA program. MENA Meetings was a powerful program for me because it shifted my mindset in 25 ways. And now those tools hold. And so I find it's really powerful to work with the right coaches who can guide you and hold your hand through those really challenging points. I hired one consultant, Allyson, when I first had Fusionary in year 1. And I was like, I don't know what to do. None of the people I hired worked. I have no money left in the business. And she goes, you will do this yourself. You will get in front of the camera, you will get on stage, and you will figure this out. And I was deathly afraid. I wanted to throw up. Like I had never spoken on a stage. I was hyperventilating, freaking out that we had this event called the Transformation Summit. I swear I probably got the flu after. Like I was just, when you self-torture yourself enough and you're so stressed to the max. But I got through it. And so she showed me that hook or crook, if you love what you created, you commit and you dig deep and you find whatever you have to find in you to get through. And so she was a great advisor in that way. And so I really find circles of women who are like-minded. I find that that's a huge support because then you don't feel like you're crazy. I find coaches who guide me. And then I free float for a while and do my work. And then when I need the next person to hold on to take me further, I do that too. But I find it takes a circle, it takes a community, it takes a village. There's no lone person in their silo who can just hold themselves accountable and keep moving forward. I find that to be challenging. And then the other thing I did is Maria is this wonderful woman who I brought onto my team probably 4 years ago. And I brought her on for Instagram initially because I didn't understand how to do Instagram. And our relationship grew, we both learned and grew together. And so now she's really like she's my COO, she's my partner in crime. And we work so well together. So sometimes it's just finding that partner in life who you can work with, who balances you out and who has all the traits you don't have. She's way more detail oriented. She's a taskmaster. I want to go out and do interviews all day and do video and create content. And she's sitting there, moving the ball forward in her way. And I get to move it in my ways. Like I want to rise like the star and she's ready to move the car forward across the continent. We have those balances for each other. So that would be my final way, is finding someone you can work with who's just so complementary to you.
Nice. Yeah. And that's, we talk about it all the time that you got to have someone to hold you accountable. It just makes such a huge difference. And there's no way that this podcast would have existed if Allyson and I didn't have each other to hold each other accountable and make this happen. Cool.
Yeah, it's true. It's not easy to do, to build something and get it off the ground. Sometimes it takes the energy of two because 1 + 1 = 3, and that energy creates something totally new and beautiful. So I love that you guys have created this.
All right. It is that time in the show for takeaways. Allyson, what's your takeaway today?
Tea time. I'm incorporating tea time into my day, but like I have tea every day, but I'm incorporating it in a way of tea time is just for me to have tea and to like you said, Dr. Shivani, is like checking in with yourself. How are you doing? And I like how you said that. You said, are my shoulders all shrugged up? Do I need to relax and take a deep breath? I find I'm at my desk working and before I know it, I'm like this, my shoulders are up to my ears. So yeah, that's my takeaway is tea time.
Nice.
Mine was also tea time, but a different aspect of it. The fact that she does it morning, mid-morning, noon, mid-afternoon, like each of those times, like it doesn't, for some, it can be tea, but it doesn't have to be tea, but taking multiple times through the day to just stop, pause, check in. And because we tend to isolate it to my morning meditation, okay, no, I don't have to meditate multiple times per day, but still taking that time to check in with self and breathe and relax and all of that. What's your takeaway from today, Shivani?
Well, it was so beautiful talking to you guys. It was just a beautiful reminder that even in a circle of women who are doing the same thing. Julietta, you're out there doing your incredible healing. Allyson, we're just meeting, but I can tell, you're an incredible nutritionist and person who guides people. Even we can all learn from each other. So it's just a powerful reminder of circle of sisterhood and how much I crave that, because typically I'm the teacher. So I teach online all day, but I don't often get to be with women in circle, especially right now. So it's just a beautiful reminder of what I'm craving.
Nice.
I love that.
So I'm going to put out there, Shivani, because you talked to her earlier about I have this thing on my schedule where people can book in coffee or tea. I want you to book in and bring me some of your new teas so I can try them, because last time we saw each other, you didn't have the teas yet. So I want to bring those teas and we need to catch up. So, and anyone else who wants to know more about the Fusionary products or the teas, we'll have all of this information in the show notes, how to get a hold of Dr. Shivani, how to get a hold of Allyson and I. And I think that's a wrap. So thank you so much, Dr. Shivani, for being with us. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. Thank you to our subscribers. All of this makes us keep going forward and doing more here to support all of the goddesses out there in the world.
It was awesome to meet you. I mean, we've met briefly once before on Zoom, but it was super brief. And so thank you so much for being here. I love everything that you're doing. So thank you for sharing with our audience. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a magical day.